I'm joined alongside Charlie Gunson following a 4-2 defeat to Gloucester City. Charlie, first of all, how do you reflect on the game?
I think it was always going to be a tough game. Away at Gloucester is a really tough first game. They got to the playoff final last year, so we always knew going into it was going to be a tough one. But I think on the day, we sort of struggled in the first half. I think the goals we conceded were sloppy. But we got back into it with Ethan scoring a great goal just before sort of half time. And then I think, the boys come out second half and we put in a really good second half performance, and we just sort of, fell short at the end with that sort of unlucky fourth goal. But I think overall the performance was much more positive in the second half. We're a new team, we're gelling, lots of new faces and things like that. And hopefully, we've got a game Wednesday now back at home. So, what better way to get a result Wednesday and put things right?
Well, Charlie, speaking individually about that performance, it must have been good to get back properly on the pitch game, returning back to league action. We didn't really get to see too much of you from pre-season due to you still sort of nursing that injury. But do you feel like you're starting to get back to that full fitness again?
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there, which is good. Obviously, I came in sort of halfway through last season and didn't get to play too many games due to my injury, sort of sidelining me for sort of 5 to 6 months. But I've been rehabbing throughout the summer and working with the physios and sort of getting stronger and making sure my injury's right. And Dutchy, Glenn, and everyone have been great with me in terms of sort of easing me back into it. So it was good for me to sort of get my first league game out of the way and get 30 odd minutes off the bench, which was good. So it's all about building those minutes back up now and getting back to full fitness.
Well, I've got to be honest, Charlie. If you weren't at full fitness in that game, I can't wait until you get back to full fitness in other games, because you came on as a substitute in the 64th minute. Literally, a few minutes later, after coming onto the pitch, you bag a goal. I mean, what a way to mark your return.
Yeah, it was a good feeling for me. Obviously when you've been sidelined for so long, obviously like confidence can be low and things like that. So, to get on the pitch and within a couple of minutes score in the first home game and sort of open your account up is always a great feeling. So, yeah, it gave my confidence a world of good, and gave the injury a sort of a world of good as well. So yeah, so hopefully keep training, keep working hard in the gym, and I'll be fully fit soon and raring to go again.
On that goal as well, Charlie, it looked like it was a goal that's been worked on loads of times in the training ground. From where I was positioned, the cross matched perfectly with your run. Was that something you've been working on in the training ground?
We've touched on set pieces a little bit in training. Obviously, we haven't had massive amount of time to work on them loads, because with the renovation of the pitch, we haven't had much time sort of training on the pitch. But we did do a little bit of work on it on Thursday, Benny's put a great delivery in the box, and it was sort of caught the keeper off guard. He sort of got underneath it, and I was just there, sort of in the right spot at the right time, and got the head on it and got it in the back of the net and got us back into the game at 3-2. But obviously, it was unfortunate that we conceded late on.
You sort of brushed upon it there actually, about how we did go 3-0 down, but going into that second half, we definitely saw that response from the Gosport side. So we got Ethan Taylor who got on the goal sheet, yourself. I know we didn't get that comeback, but speaking about the whole team performance, were you pretty proud with how the boys did react? Considering Gloucester, they're probably a team who will be gunning for the title, playoff finalists last season. So were you proud of that reaction and, getting the 2 goals, I suppose, really?
Yeah, definitely. You never know how a football game is going to unfold. So to react after being 3-0 down away from home, and come back out and dust yourselves down and keep going, the boys showed a lot of grit to get back into it. Ethan scored a great goal. I've got on the score sheet and got it back to 3-2. And I think from then on and that point in the game, we were on top. We had a couple more chances that, could have gone our way. And I think we were putting a lot of pressure on them. So it shows good grit from the boys, that we're not ever going to give up. We think we're always in a game of football. Football can change quickly. So, if we've got the players on the pitch that are showing that desire to try and win the game of football, I think we're always going to sort of, get there on the end. But it was unfortunate. But we always try really hard, and I think that's a good sort of spirit about the group.
We've got Farnham coming up in our second league game in a few days' time. What do you expect going into that game?
I expect them to be a good side. I imagine them to play good football. They've got a lot of good players down there. They're heavily tipped to be right up there this year. They've invested well into good players. So I imagine them to be a team that get the ball down and play well. So it'll be an interesting game, obviously on the new surface for us as well. It will be our first game on the pitch where we didn't get a pre-season on it. So yeah, it'll be a tough game, no doubt, but one that we're going to be fully prepared for.
And I've got to have a little shout out to the Gosport fans who did make quite the long trip to Gloucester. I mean, for a lot of that game, they were out singing, the Gloucester fans. So how excited are you for playing in front of the AI crowd again in the opening game there?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, especially with all the work that's gone on at the club. It's looking great. The pitch is looking great. The fans are always fantastic. Even when we're 3-0 down, we can still hear them singing away from home on a long journey at Gloucester. So, the players, we appreciate it a lot. It gives us that drive and ambition on the pitch, to play better and do well. So hopefully, we'll get a really good crowd Wednesday for a, first home game of the season. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Brilliant stuff, Charlie. And for the final words in this interview, can we get 3 final words? Up the borough.
Up the borough.
And final words from me, up the borough.